Hey everybody, welcome. We're restarting our sound system, so the crowd right now is silent. But we are playing game 12. We are at losing streak game number 10, and we are playing game 12. It's Steve Carlton on the mound for the Phillies here at Veterans Stadium versus Pete Falcone. Pete Falcone has just been pulled for a pinch hitter, Gil Flores, here in the top of the seventh with one out. Carlton is still good to go. He's allowed 3 runs, so he'll be fatigued next inning, but he fatigues in the eighth, so we're on the seventh, so he's still good to go. And that's it. We're going to join the action here in a second, and we're ready to go. We're ready to roll, and it's Steve Carlton versus the right-handed batter, Gil Flores. Flores batted 186 versus lefties. He's pinch hitting for Pete Falcone. And that's a 9. That's in play. An in-play 76 versus a lefty. In-play 76 is going to be outrange. That's going to be a fly ball center field. Gary Maddox gets under it and makes the catch for out number 2. Now it's Frankie Taveras. Taveras is 0 for 3 on the day. He's a new Met shortstop acquired for Tim Foley from the Pirates. That's an 8. That's tough. And a tough 81 against a lefty is going to be a pop-up to the left side, and that's going to be Boa taking charge and makes the catch. I used a modifier there. You can pick that up at Sideline Strategies at Delphi Forum. And we've got a new pitcher. It's going to be Dale Murray. Dale Murray's coming in for the second day in a row. He's going to face the pitcher Steve Carlton. Now this is the third game of a 3-game series. In actuality, the score right now is 4-3 Phils. I don't know if I said that. May have skipped over that. And what was I going to say? This is the third game of the series. It's a Sunday game. The Mets lost the first 2. Their losing streak is at 10. Looking to extend it to 11 here. They're down 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th. And it's going to be Murray. The next series is a 2-game series at Shea against the San Francisco Giants, who were not a very good team. They were about 20 games under 500. The Mets lost 99 games in 1979, so they're my lovable losers, if you will. And it's going to be Steve Carlton. You know what? We're going to lift Carlton for a pinch hitter. Now, our computer should be back. Not sure. We'll see what happens here. Because it was giving us trouble. It was kind of frozen and just buffering, loading as I was trying to get to different websites. So let's see if it corrected itself when I restarted it. Okay, so it's going to be Gross. It's going to bat for Carlton. So Carlton's going to get pulled. And it's going to be the left-hand hitting Gross versus Dale Murray. Now Dale Murray eventually moves over to Montreal and ends up spending the rest of the season with the Expos. But during the first part of the season, he plays with the Mets. Now he was 4-8 with a 4.82 ERA. I don't know why the Expos would want him, but they know better than I do. Okay, here's the pitch. It's an 8. That's in play to Gross. And Gross is a pretty good hitter. He batted .357 against righties, 76. A tough in play 76, and that's going to be out of range against a righty. Goes up to 35. 76 is a ground ball second base, so Gross pulls one right at Flynn. Flynn flips to Montanez for out number 1. Here's the pitch to Jose Cardinal, right-handed batter. He's playing right field today for the Phils, replacing Bake McBride. That's a 9. That's a ballpark. Ballpark is all the way up to 66, and that's going to qualify to put him in the wheelhouse. So that pitch is going to be in the wheelhouse. So Cardinal has one in the wheelhouse against righties. He's got no home run, but he's got a 1 to 35 will be a hit. and that's a 20, so that's a line drive base hit for Cardinal. Cardinal's on at first. Not much speed, not going to be running, but actually he had one stolen base, so we can roll for him. It's an 11, and it won't do. We're going to use that 6, which is patient, for the next batter. So Larry Boa now, 44. A patient 44 is going to be a double, and that's going to sound like a line drive into the alley, center field. After it goes Mazzilli, and hustling to second base, and here's the throw. He's safe under the tag, and Cardinal has to stop at third. No, he scores. They're waving him around, and he's safe. He surprised everybody. He held up there for a split second at third base and then decided, you know what, I can make it home. Nobody expected him to go, and they were kind of focused on trying to get Boa at second base. But that RBI double for Boa is going to put it's going to be an important insurance run there for the Phils. Now the score is 5-3, and only one out, and Larry Boa is at second base. So Boa comes up big in the clutch. And next is going to be Pete Rose, and we're going to walk Pete Rose intentionally. Now Pete Rose batted .333 against righties and .327 against lefties. He was one of the top batters in 1979 in the National League. So we're going to walk him. So we're going to face Greg Luzinski, who unfortunately we're actually walking a guy to pitch to a guy who hit 2 home runs today. Yeah. So we're walking Rose, a .330 hitter, to pitch to Luzinski, who's hit 2 home runs today. That tells you a little bit about the kind of team that the Phils have in place. So here's the pitch to Luzinski. It's a 4. It's in play. We're hoping for a double play, an in-play 20, and that's going to be a ball blooped into right field. Runner on first advances 1 base. Runner on second, question mark, so we're going to hold up. And we're going to hold up with only 1 out. It's going to be a single. Bases are going to be loaded now. Not going to run on Youngblood's arm. I don't need to do that with a 2-run lead already. Bases are loaded, only 1 out. It's Bob Boone, who's playing third base today. Bob Boone is at third. Not a very good third baseman. Wow. Having trouble getting to YouTube. I don't know why. Let's try that. All right. And so the infield's going to be in. Now let me try to see if I can find that chart. Now I went and had a chart laminated today. I'll show you which one it was. How am I going to find my infield in chart? That's kind of. Well, I can use. Now I know how to read the official. There it is. Okay. I had this thing, my bases empty rear plate chart. I had that laminated today. Nice and sturdy now. And I can keep that near me, and it's easy to grab and so forth. See that? Pretty good. 10 ml is called, and that's the thick laminate. If you do the thin one, it's floppy. So anyway, I have my bases loaded infield in chart. I have it specially made here. I keep on getting a lot of alerts as to my trying to sign into Gmail. So I don't know. Somebody must be using my account. Oh, look at that. Okay. My computer's up and running again. Baseball. All right, bases loaded, infield in. The batter is Bob Boone. On the mound is Dale Murray. Here's a pitch to Murray. It's a 6. Patient. That's trouble now. And that's a 31. Patient 31 is going to be a base on balls. That forces in a run. Ball 4. So Boone forces in a run with a walk. Was very, very patient. And it's a 6-3 game now. Infield continues to be in for the Mets. Only 3 runs down. So let's see what happens. It's a 9. That's a ballpark for Gary Maddox. And he's a right-handed hitter, so there's 1-66 is going to be wheelhouse, and it is. And it's going to be Maddox's wheelhouse with the bases loaded and the infield in. It's going to be a 47. So against a righty, 47 is in the hit range. And that's going to be a hard grounder into left field. Runner on first advances one base. So everybody advances just one base, basically. So they're going to hold up Luzinski at third. And the bases are loaded again. It's Gary Maddox at first, Bob Boone at second, and Greg Luzinski at third, and it's Manny Trio. And I spelled his name with one N. So I'm going to correct that real quick on my iPad that I have to my left, and that's where I use iScore to keep track of all the data for my replay. Oh boy. Okay, so this is a long one. So we're going to pull, Murray's already fatigued, so we're going to pull him. He's done nothing good for us up to this point. And who do we have? Trio, a righty. I'm going to bring in Wayne Twitchell. Yes, the Twitcher. Wayne Twitchell. And I'm going to bring him in with the bases loaded. Looking for him on my list. He's in here somewhere. Just have to find him. There he is. W. Twitchell. He's in there now. And he's going to face Manny Trio with the infield in. And that's a 4. That's patient. A patient 63 against a righty. A patient 63 is going to be a ground ball to second base with the infield in. Let's see what it says. We're going to have to re-roll 2d6s. So bases loaded. Let me quickly look at that. What it says to do with the infield in. Does it say to re-roll or to use the same die roll? Because that die roll, I like that one. All right, so bases loaded. Play at home. Okay, if the bases are loaded, result for, okay, bases loaded, 2d6 is less. Okay, if base is loaded and 2d6 is less than 6, is 6 or less, runner on third base out at home, batter out at first. Other runners advance one base. Okay, so I'm not sure, but I'm starting to use the last dice roll to not have to roll so many times because it takes time. So I'm gonna just use the dice roll to see the result. And actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do that because I don't know. I'm unsure. You know what? I'm gonna roll. Where's my decider die? Where's that thing? Let me roll my decider die to solve this issue. Because I'd like to keep that, but that's not fair. So let's be just. All right, can't find my decider die anywhere. It's unusual. Got a lot of dice everywhere. My decider die is nowhere to be found. Let's look out here. Nothing there. Nothing back there. A lot of dice everywhere. No decider die. It's not even in my decider die. That's like one of my favorite die. All right, so we're gonna do odds is yes, even is no. So odds we keep the number. So odd we keep the number. Oh, and we don't keep the number, so we're gonna have to re-roll. See what happens now. So we need between 2 and 6 is what we want, and we do. We get it. So the runner's out at home. And it was a ground ball to, who did I say was ground ball to 63? It was ground ball to second. So Doug Flynn, playing the infield in, goes to home, and they get the force at home. So there's 2 outs now. It's 4-2. And the runner is out at home on the force play, and everybody moves up. All right, so now it's going to be Tim McCarver. He's a lefty. And he bats 125 against lefty pitchers. So we're going to bring in Jesse Orozco. Jesse Orozco has made his appearance lately in the box scores. I use the actual box scores, and I keep track of who comes in and who goes out and who's around. And in the last few games, Orozco's been around, so that gets me excited when I see a new player like that. So he's a lefty. He's going to come in. We're going to punch him in here, Orozco. So he's in, and he's going to pitch to McCarver. And that's a 7. That's going to be patient. That doesn't do us very good. Orozco is 1-2, 4.89. Becomes a big part, a key element in the World Series in '86 for the Mets and that period. Becomes a go-to guy. So anyway, it's patient against McCarver, but it's versus a lefty, so there's not much going on there. And that's a 72. That's going to be way in the out range. And a 72 is a fly ball center field, and that's going to be out number 3. But the Phils pick up 3 runs here, and they lead it 7-3 now. Lead it 7-3, so that's too bad. That they picked up all those runs. Looks like the Mets are going to lose their 11th game in a row now. This is, or is it? Yeah, I think it's the 11th game in a row. I don't remember what I said earlier. Can't remember if it's the 10th or the 11th. This is game 12, I believe. So it's game 12. That means, yeah, this is, if they lose this one, it's going to be 11 in a row they lost. Wow. That's bad. Okay. I'm going to pull that chart. And Steve Carlton's out. We're going to bring in, I don't even remember who we're going to bring in. Let me pull up the box score real quick here. 1970. Got really hot here in San Antonio in the last couple hours. It was about 50 degrees in the morning, and it's got to be 80 degrees now. Crazy weather. So now my studio is really hot. I'm gonna have to set up the AC or plug it in, because up till this point I haven't needed it. But I'm gonna have to plug it in now. Let's see what happens here. We're just trying to check and see who pitched in this game for the Phils, so we bring people that are actually on the roster. I like to do that. Let me take a look at some of the pitchers that they have. I know Reed is there. McGraw is there. Who else did I see pitching? Well, we're going to bring in Ron Reed pitched yesterday. All right, here it is. Taking a little bit of time. I don't know why this thing is working slowly. Okay. Third game. Sunday, April 22nd, 1979. We're in time travel. Next is going to be 2 games against the San Francisco Giants in New York, Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to get to hear them meet the Mets song, which is played as you walk into Shea Stadium, as you wait online to get in. And they play that song on big loudspeakers. And that's always nice. That's one of my favorite songs. Brings back great memories. And in this game, it was Ron Reed. Who else was in this game? Not too many pitchers pitched in this game. Wow, only Ron Reed. Okay, well, we don't want to use Ron Reed again, because let me look and see previous game, because we used him 3 innings yesterday in the extra 13 inning affair. So I'm trying to look here real quick, but I'm trying to do it quickly, but my computer is not cooperating. Yeah, so we have a lot of pitchers, but we don't know. Okay, here it is. Let's see who was. Tell me this was a complete game. Ron Reed again. Okay. Ron Reed pitched 2. How many? Yeah, he went 1.2 there. And what inning are we in here? Let's see what would happen. We are in the. He would have to go 2 innings. All right. Wow. So it can't be brought up. So we got, I know, let me see, Dick Rubin, Knowles, Kevin Saucier, Warren Brewstar, Doug Bird, Lomborg. I'm sorry that this is taking so long. Raleigh Eastwick, 51 games for Raleigh Eastwick. I'm going to bring in Raleigh Eastwick. Pretty sure he's there, and I think I've seen him. All right, so Eastwick is going to be in there, because we pinch hit for Carlton. And Raleigh Eastwick, we didn't write him in, but we will now. Eastwick. I'm going to go on take a ride on my bike after this, because the temperature seems to have gotten nice and warm. Go out for a half hour or so, walk a little bit and ride a little bit. Okay, so let's go to, here's the pitch from Eastwick to Richie Hebner, left-handed third baseman for the Mets, who's 0 for 3 today. That's a 3, that's defense. And now that's going to be out no matter what, and we're going to see what kind of, to who, and then 5, it's to the shortstop. And what kind of an out, third baseman, it's to the third baseman, what kind of an out, it's a ground ball out. So, ground out, 5-3. There we go, 1 away. Pitch, it's ballpark, so it's, see what happens, 76, that's going to be in play to Mazzilli. That's a 54, an in play 54, that's going to be an outrange grounder third. Boone is playing there, up with it, and throws out Mazzilli by half a step. Boone really had to put some mustard on it. His mechanics look like he hasn't played third base very much. He is an F range over there. Next is going to be Steve Henderson, who's 1 for 3. That's a 6. That's a tough. And that's an 11, a tough 11. It's a strikeout, so he goes after the high hard one. And that's 3 up, 3 down for Raleigh Eastwick. And it's Jesse Orozco against, I have another pinch hitter, it looks like, for the Phillies. Because we didn't do, the pitcher was up and we never... Let's see. So we're going to bring in, who's up now? It's Gross is up. So Gross is up now. And who pinch hit the next game? 21st. And you know, well, Adele Unser is going to come in there and he's going to pinch hit. Adele Unser, lefty, versus Craig Gross. And well, he's a lefty. Let's look and see. There's another guy named let's see. It's a really slow plotting game here, which is not a really good game, to be honest with you. All right, Mike Schmidt actually. Oh, Dave Radar. Let's see if he's a righty or a lefty. He plays in this game. He's another lefty. Mike Schmidt pinch hits in this game. So we're going to bring in Mike Schmidt to pinch hit, just because. And it's always fun to see Mike Schmidt bat. All right. So Mike Schmidt is going to come in there to bat against Jesse Orozco. There's a pitch from Jet. That's an 8. That's tough. A tough 64 against a lefty. Tough 64 is going to be in the out range, and that's going to be a ground to second. Doug Flynn throws out Schmidt, 1 away. Jose Cardinal. That's a 7. That's patient. That's cockeye. Gonna do that again. Now it's a 0-1. So a patient 0-1 against a lefty is going to be a base on balls. So that's a run. That puts a runner on first. Cardinal walks. Larry Boa, who's 3 for 3, batting from the right side now, and that's going to be an 8. Henderson, okay. It's going to be an 8. That's going to be tough against Boa. 63, tough 63. Tough 63 is outrange. It's going to be a ground to second base. An 8, you know, it's going to be a fielder's choice. 4-6. Throw not in time. Boa beats it out. So Boa's on at first. And Boa is going to potentially steal here. It's only a 4-run lead. And there goes Boa. He's going to be a C. And Stearns is a 3. A 3C, I believe, is normal. Let me double check that. A normal base stealer, so we can use a 3C. Yep, it's a normal base stealer. So we're going to use a card, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You look at the stealing, and he's normal, so he's going to be safe. Boa steals second. Stolen base for Boa. He's on at second now, and it's going to be Pete Rose. And he's going to be batting from the right side. And do we walk every time we... yeah, he's 0 for 3. We're going to pitch to Rose. That's a 3. That's tough. And that's a tough 15 against a lefty. And that's going to be, oh my goodness gracious. 3 is tough. On Rose's card, a tough 15 is going to be a liner into left center, and that's going to roll around out there. And around second comes Rose. Boa scores easily, and into third with a head-first slide is Pete Rose with a triple. A 2-out triple here. Drives in Larry Boa for run number 8. And next is going to be Greg Luzinski. Luzinski is 3 for 4 with 2 home runs and a single. So we're going to walk Luzinski. Intentional walk to Luzinski. He's on at first. We don't want to face him. And we're going to face Bob Boone, who's 1 for 3. And that's an 11. That's defense. A defense 67. 60. Nope. So it's going to be an out no matter what. It's too high a number. And it's an out. It's a ground ball to first, and that's going to be out number 3. But the Phils pick up another run here, and they lead it going into the 9th inning by a score of 8 to 3. Oh boy. All right, Raleigh Eastwick in there to finish it off. And he's going to face Willie Montanez. Montanez is 2 for 3 today. That's a 6. That's tough. A tough 67 on Montanez's card. A tough 67. It's going to be outrange, grounded to short. Larry Boa fires the first. 1 away. Joel Youngblood, who's 0 for 3. Pitch from Eastwick. That's an 8. That's tough. A tough 85. Outrange. That's a grounded to short again. Charging it is Boa. And that's 2 away. Finally, it's 2 outs here in an 8 to 3 game. It's going to be loss number 11 for the Mets. That's a 7. That's in play for Stearns. An in play 82 takes us to the out range. That's going to be a grounder again to Boa. Boa, sure hands, fires the first. Out number 3. The game is over. The Mets lose. The Mets lose 11 in a row. And now we're going to welcome San Francisco for 2 games. So hopefully their luck will turn at Shea. But I'll read you the line score for this game. The Mets, they lose it by a score of 8 to 3. They had 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and 4 left on base. The Phils poured it on, 8 runs, 14 hits, no errors, and 9 left on base. It was Steve Carlton who got the win, and it was Pete Falcone, I believe, who started the game for the Mets. If I remember correctly, I will double check that. There was so many pitching changes and pinch hitters and all that. I barely remember. Yeah, Pete Falcone started the game. So that's it is what it is. So the game is over. Another loss for the Mets. That's 11 in a row. And they were not in this game at all. Well, it was 2-2 until the Mets led it in the 5th inning, 3-2. And it was in the 5th inning. It was a home run by Lee Mazzilli who put the Mets up 3-2, giving put some excitement in the Mets dugout there. But right after that, the Phils tied it up in the bottom of the 5th, and then in the bottom of the 6th, they took the lead, and that was it. They scored 3 more in the 7th to make it 7, and then 1 more in the bottom of the 8th to make it 8, and the Mets were never able to muster up any more offense after that. So the win goes to Steve Carlton. Pitched pretty nicely today, And the loss is going to go to Pete Falcone. And that's all she wrote. So I'm going to set up San Francisco. I should be able to get 2 more games. I think this is my 4th game of the day. I'd like to play I want to at least play until they win one. Hopefully they'll beat San Francisco at home in one of those games. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I got to set that up. I got to put San Francisco into iScore. I don't think I have them in there. So that takes a little 10 minutes or so. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. So anyway, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and that's it for Combat Painter and Payoff Pitch and 1979